Okay, so starting with the papers this morning, and the back page headline on the Irish Independent is FAI Director, we didn't know of €2 million Delaney loyalty deal. So FAI Director John Early has confirmed that John Delaney's bumper €2 million package was concealed from board members as the association began to implode in March amid revelations around finance. Details of an additional loyalty bonus above the chief executive's $360,000 salary emerged. The golden handcuffs clause from Delaney's 2014 contract entitled him to $2 million for staying until 2021 and doubled his earnings. And the transactions didn't appear in the annual accounts and was kept from the vast majority of the board, according to FAI Director John Early. That's the story there. And then obviously they have that Croke Park set for major cash bonanza with attendances to hit 1.5 million mark. So despite early season fears over football attendances, the All-Ireland Championship are set to beat last year's total.
The back page of the Sun this morning is we've got Eurovision, Perth not done yet. He said that Dundalk, obviously their European dream is not completely dead, but the Champions League is done and dusted for this season, beaten 3-0 by Karabag and Azerbaijan last night. Dybala wage shock for Manchester United meanwhile. The Juventus forward obviously being offered in a swap deal for Romelu Lukaku, but expects £350,000 a week. We've also got John Myler quitting his Rebels post, and Zidane was right, Bale is feeling below par. So Gareth Bale could spend the season at Real Madrid without kicking a ball. But last night Zinedine Zidane insisted the out-of-favour star was not being disrespectful by playing golf. Basically, he just doesn't care what he does.
He's allowed to play golf, isn't he? I mean, Gordon Trackett always said he never played golf because he was an athlete. And then loads of other good footballers play lots of golf. So I don't know if it's that damaging to his...
Well, no, it's just that Real Madrid were playing while Gareth Bale was on the golf course.
He was ill and he wasn't allowed to go.
Well, have you played golf while ill?
I mean,
rather than being hungover.
You're ill, too ill to take the plane, a little bit below par, but you've got to go about your day-to-day life. I mean, carpe diem, life is for living. You know?
Exactly, nobody's going to walk to the pharmacy for you, and if you happen upon a golf course on the way to get your medicine.
Have a few holes,
Absolutely.
And get out there, get some fresh air.
Swinging the ball well as well.
Dybala wants Sarri talks before deciding on United offer, so string them along there, Paolo, as long as you possibly can, and make your mind up that you actually do want to go to Manchester United. Perth still upbeat despite Dundalk's heavy loss, so beaten 3-0 last night by Karabag. Rovers facing a torrid test in Cypriot Heath. This is Shamrock Rovers up against Apollon Limassol tonight. That one kicks off at 6 o'clock Irish time. And Pochettino being made to feel more coach than manager is kind of yesterday's take on the story at the bottom there, because Spurs have apparently come out and said, no, he's definitely... I don't know where this is coming from. What the hell's wrong with Pochettino? Nothing could be. Eamon Donoghue saying that Mayo need to improve their kick-out strategy, and indeed, it seems they will have to if they're going to continue on in the Championship.
The back page, or just inside the back page of the Herald, is a seismic victory over Tyrone in 2011 was the making of this team. It's Alan Brogan's column talking about the Dubs. The near-perfect performance gave us the belief to win Sam, as weekend rivals can gain little in Omagh. Cork on new boss lookout after Myler exit, they also say, and Declan Bonner there recalling painful memory of Ballybofey, which I presume is their loss to Tyrone last year.
What's next for Cork? Picture of John Myler on the front of the Examiner this morning, and they go through the runners and riders and the various available candidates inside the Examiner this morning. And Ed Collin, how long before eSports applies to IOC for Olympic Games status? Not long, I'm pretty sure that they're already trialling it in the next one. Headline grabbers, Canning criticises those who prematurely penned his demise. His demise, sorry. It's Joe Canning saying that it never looked like he was going to be forced to retire, and that some people were just looking for quick headlines.
The back page of the Irish Daily Mail this morning is Joe lashes out. Canning fury at claims career was finished. I don't recall this. Joe Canning talking about reports, not just rumours, reports that his career was finished after his injury earlier this year. He said it was people who didn't know too much about it, the same people that reported I had a dead leg. It was just somebody trying to make a headline, trying to get ahead of somebody else and to be first. He kind of goes on to talk about it, and he says, I think it was Denzel Washington that said a few years ago in a clip, I actually retweeted the clip of him only about a week before it happened to me, that if you read the news, you're misinformed, and if you don't, you're uninformed. It's all about this world of being first, of tweeting about it and writing about it and being the first person to have it. It doesn't seem to matter if it's true or not, but if you're first, everybody believes it.
Yeah. The dead leg report seemed to, at the time, I have a vague recollection, it seemed to be like an official communication, and then Galway 24 hours later, we're like, no, we never said that he was dead leg. So I don't know where the reports about the career ending or who ran with that potentially career ending. Obviously, it has annoyed Joe, and it looks like he's going to be back fighting fit next season. So have you jumped on the bandwagon is the front page headline on the Racing Post this morning. JP's new recruit, Band of Outlaws, all the rage for the Galway Hurdle. We'll talk about that with Ruby Walsh a little bit later on. And brilliant Boris Dempsey lifts plate for Elliott, and then the Ashes is the back page story for that one. So
the Mirror leads with Dundalk. The dream is over for Lily-Whites. Dundalk and Perth return their sights on the Europa League after they come up short in Baku. And Tabita morning to you, Doe Bala. Paolo tells United he must pay me 350k a week to make me sign. Who loves money? Paolo de Bala loves money.
Well, I mean, fair play to him.
And Spurs get bossy with Pochettino. They have no plans to change Mauricio Pochettino's job title, they say.
There you go. Karsic. Karabag beating Dundalk last night. Dundalk outplayed by Azerbaijan side. Boris Becker. Is that it? Is that what it is? Boris Better.
It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Dybala demands 380 grand a week. That's the headline that does what it says on the tin. And then obviously there's loads more inside about the Galway races this week as well.
The London Times leads with the Ashes. Pain taunts England fans. You've also got Dybala wanting 10 million quid a year. And Wales' wait for Open goes on. No prospect of the Open Championship being taken to Wales for the first time, the RNA said yesterday. So next time Wales hammer us in rugby and we're really annoyed with Welsh fans, we can say, but how many times have you had the Open in your principality?
They've never had it, and they're bitter, are they?
Yeah, they are. I mean, rub that in their faces next time. Good. Yeah. Good. It's 1-1 after this year after they hammered us.
Sometimes your trash talk really, it's wildly variant in its quality on.
Are you done? The Guardian?
Yeah.
England turn up Ashes heat, route riled by Australia's handshake plan, and let battle commence is the front page of the Daily Telegraph sports section. Get ready to savour the greatest rivalry in world sport as England endeavour to wrest back the Ashes from Australia.
The Gaelic Life and Irish News, we'll get to them for you now. So first up is going to be the Irish News. Connolly dancing to his own tune ahead of Falls Park Showdown, so it's a big homecoming for Michael Connolly. And Rochford holds all the cards, says ex-Mayo coach McEntee. That's obviously John McEntee, Tony McEntee rather, sorry, who was part of the backroom team when Rochford was in charge at Mayo, and he's weighing in and saying, yep, his inside information is going to be good information on the Mayo lads.
Maybe Rochford being part of the Donegal setup is just the biggest decoy of all time. Maybe Stephen Rochford just loves putting down cones. And he just loves being around inter-county setups, and he's got absolutely no input into this Donegal team.
It's funny they've all said something different, though, isn't it? The Gaelic Life here. Wild West, Donegal must beat Mayo to reach the All-Ireland semi-finals. He's back. Geezer to be ratified on Monday. So that's good news for Armagh and for Geezer, and not for the anonymous guy who wrote his name, who wrote the letter to the Irish News, who couldn't put his name to it because he was a former player and didn't want him to stay. I mean, that was a real ballsy move there, wasn't it? I'm going to write a letter to the paper and say, oh, please don't use my name.
Yeah, I can't really understand that. We don't know what goes on inside, but certainly on the outside, he has made a marked improvement on that Armagh team. They're flirting with the idea of getting back to the top division, flirting with the idea of getting into the Super 8s eventually. They will get there in the next 2 years, you'd suspect, as long as McGeeney sticks with it and sticks with a very promising team. And the question is, next year, does Jamie Clark come back from London to actually play with Armagh? That'll be a story that we'll probably get confirmation on later in the winter, but it's encouraging signs for Armagh. That is great news for them.
And then it's going to bring you this. It's an athlete can't run with money in his pockets. It's Sean Kavanagh's piece. And he is making the point that it's not the cash to keep the Dubs machine winning, it's Jim Gavin. It's interesting. You know, a lot of people would have a lot of time for Mickey Hart. A lot of people would say it's Mickey Hart that's keeping Tyrone at the top table, but Jim Gavin's winning. It's just an interesting comparison on the week that's in it from Sean Kavanagh. Go, yeah, they've got a great manager. That's what's happening here. The Dubs, it's not about their money, it's about their great manager.
I didn't think of it that way when I read it. It is, the first few paragraphs, well, when I say few, I mean 10, 12 paragraphs, it's all about how he kind of had envy, or still has envy, of Dublin players and
driving his Peugeot 306 and then they're in their sponsored Jeeps.
And their pre-made meals and stuff. Somehow, I think part of Sean Kavanagh does think that money helps a little bit. Of course, it's not the main factor in his opinion, that Jim Gavin is the main factor, and that kind of level that he's brought everybody to and the level that they bring to every single game. He's also forwarding the idea that there's no point of Tyrone actually going all out for this game on Sunday. He's saying that if Tyrone happened to get beaten by a Dublin B team, what would that do for the confidence? That's a seriously defeatist attitude, isn't it?
Well,
maybe it's a realistic attitude. And maybe you have to be defeatist in every single game you go up against Dublin, but I don't know, if you're going into any game getting afraid of getting beaten by a B team, you've lost already, really.
Well, look, you're not going to get... Are you going to get beaten by the B team? If let's.
There's a chance.
We were kind of working out what the B team might look like, and it's pretty good.
It's outstanding.
So let's say it's not a B team totally, but some players get game time, some players don't. And our forward line, where we had to put Niall Scully back into midfield, we're resting. We're resting the first choice midfield partnership of Fenton and Michael Darmacawley.
Yeah.
We're resting James McCarthy.
Yeah.
We're going to rest
Kieran Kilkenny.
We're going to rest all the forwards apart from Conor Callahan.
Yes.
We're going to rest Dean Rock. Scully plays midfield. Your half forward line is McMenamin,
Diarmuid
Connolly.
Brian Howard.
Does Brian Howard start?
No. Honestly, I want Brian Howard there.
Paddy Small.
This is so important. Let's go with Paddy Small.
Full forward line of Bernard Brogan, Owen O'Gara,
And Conor Callahan.
and Cormac Costello.
So where's Con playing?
Con's playing right half forward.
Oh, sorry.
Con's playing centre forward. Connolly's kind of doing whatever he wants.
Yeah, so that forward line is better than a lot of forward lines in the country. That will cause problems up in Omagh for sure. Then you get into you stick with Cluxton in goals.
Yeah.
And then the backs, you're giving Cooper more game time, you're giving Philly McMahon more game time. You're probably sticking with that full back line. You're starting Fitzsimons as well. And then the half backs have got tons of options. You're resting Jack McCaffrey.
I might rest Fitzsimons. David Byrne can play.
Yeah, I could throw him in there. I think you start Philly. I think he's quietly having quite a good season.
Yeah.
And are you starting John Small as well then? And then you're going with the other two as well. Like, it's a brilliant team, and it's probably an A- team rather than a B team, and it still will be favoured against Tyrone.
We've spoken with Lindsay Peake, Cora Staunton, Sarah Rowe and Ailish Considine about the inequality that women's footballers face in 2019. That piece has just gone live on offtheball.com as well from Arthur O'D. We can't be letting you in here, redressing the imbalance in ladies Gaelic football. It's a great piece worth reading, and you should definitely get on to offtheball.com and have a look at that now. We'll tweet it out as well for you if you're listening to us or watching us on Twitter this morning. So he says Tyrone's B team is the best option. I get the point. You put your B team out. The Dubs put their B team out. Both teams, it's a close game. Who cares? Dublin put their A team out. You put your A team out. You lose. Disaster. Dublin put their A team out. You put your B team out. Dublin win. Who cares?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that there's no. After thinking about this, my opinion has gone on a journey this week. After thinking about this, I think Tyrone just have to try and win on Sunday. They just have to try and win. I just don't see... Look at the league games, for example. Look at the last time any team came close to kind of putting back-to-back wins against Dublin. You've got Mayo in recent years in 2 big championship games getting close to Dublin. Did they mix things up? Did they have something up their sleeves that they brought out the second time? No, they didn't. They played in a very similar way. You go back to the 2017 league, when they drew with Kerry in Tralee, and then Kerry actually beat them a couple of weeks later in the league final. Granted, it's just the league, but Jim Gavin surely is such an astute man, and they've got enough people in their backroom team to actually identify what somebody's done and try and counteract that. It doesn't matter what you've done. Everybody can see the tricks up your sleeve. Chances are Tyrone have already exposed what they are going to do in an All-Ireland final against Dublin at some point this year. That information is already out there. I just don't see the logic in trying to tank this weekend against Dublin. Well, you go out there and you try and beat the Dubs.
Are you going to beat them twice in one season?
You might do. You might do.
Are you really?
You might do, yes. If you beat them once, you've got a better chance of beating them twice. For sure.
Do you?
I've completely changed my opinion on that. I used to think, no, keep your cards close to your chest. But that feeds into the defeatist attitude as well. That is just putting them up on such an unbelievable pedestal that you don't deserve to be competing with them. That if you beat them, it is purely down to luck. You do need to build it up now, granted, to beat Dublin. But I think you back yourself, and I think Tyrone should be backing themselves. Get a big support, a big final home send-off from Omagh this week. Top that group, go into the Super 8s, and it could be a tired Mayo again that they get the following week in Croke Park. Now Mayo like Croke Park, but like even with the returning players from injuries that Mayo have, their legs could be like tired again coming the following week, and granted Tyrone to go through the back door themselves. I don't know, the more I think about it, the more I think there is no option. Start your best team, Tyrone, go out and play this as if it's an All-Ireland final, and then go and beat Dublin twice if you have to win the All-Ireland.
Yeah,